and I'm trying to raise little me. Because it's about me, right? So that's little me. Like, I'm going to give little me what I didn't have and her. I'm still going to do it today and tomorrow. I'm telling you what I do. I'm a her, and worry and, Lily this and Lily that. And Lily, I got to do this for Lily. I still do it. And she's going to be the victim. I'm the martyr. I'm going to save her.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure that she doesn't know about this. This is my mission. This is my goal. My responsibility to make sure that I take care of her emotions. Right? What am I teaching her about taking care of her emotions?
Not how to deal with pain.
So what's going to happen when she actually does have some hard shit happen? What if something happens to me? Am I teaching her anything?
No, you're hurting her.
Huh?
You're hurting her.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Well, you remember the example I gave you?
The
My
what?
son got
Yeah.
grounded from his gaming, so I went and bought him Legos so he'd have something to do during his punishment. So he wouldn't feel his pain.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I do it too. I'm like, you're sad, let's go get you another snake. I do. But that's for me. So I don't have to watch her be upset because it hurts me.
Yeah.
It's not about her, it's about me and how I feel. When it's not being about how I feel and what's best for her, that's when I'm parenting. Right? That's when I have a rod. We try to parent little us's. We try to give them what we didn't have and what we felt we needed. So I'm looking at little me over here, and it's tearing my heart out because I know how she feels now. She don't give a shit. She don't care. But like it's not that serious. But I remember how I felt. My mom made me clean the whole house and like anyway. She don't clean nothing. She's like a cyclone. So I make her clean because I'm raising little me, right? So am I helping her?
No.
She don't clean nothing. I'm helping her. She's 13.
I do the same thing.
I did the same
Same
thing.
exact
So she has if something were to happen, she has zero capability of coping because of how I've raised her. Make sense? And it looks like I'm being a good mama, right? Let me get you this so you won't be upset. Like, I know you're having a hard day. Let's go buy you this. Or you don't have to clean up. Like I'll just do it. And that way you'll feel okay to sleep in your room and you won't be too gross to sleep in so you guys live on the couch. I'll pay somebody to do it. What's that teaching her?
Nothing.
Exactly. Somebody else do it, right? It's not her fault. Like it's my fault. Because I didn't teach her right. I didn't teach her. So I usually use this example when she's not here. I say more, but of course yours are here.
I'm listening.
Yeah, I hear you. But it hurts more than it helps from raising little us's. We have got to heal that child that's in us. That child that didn't get unconditional love. That kid that had all that pain, that trauma. So I said, go to therapy and work on your trauma. That's why. Because it will affect you today, tomorrow, your decisions. Like a therapist reminds me all the time. She's like, don't take care of her emotions. I see the same therapist. Because I'm codependent. I can see the same one. She's like, don't take care of her emotions. Like, I don't know how to do that. And not to watch her just pain.
Because we
Yeah.
saw summer that
And
we want to make them easy for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's not my struggle with still. But I'm aware of it. I own it today. Like I told her, yeah, I do the same thing. I didn't just beat him like, I know. Like I don't hide nothing. Like I'm the epitome of codependency. That's why I can teach this. Because I do all the things. But I know what I'm doing. I admit to my husband, her, whatever. Like I know what's wrong, but let's baby steps. My other two don't act like that because I never did that to them. That's my little baby though, because when I lost custody, she was 3. My little baby. When I got her back, she was almost 7. So here's that about. Mm-hmm. Yeah, trying to overcompensate because it's my baby. Right? So my actions, have brought us where we are, full circle. take responsibility for that. So that's the codependent parenting, right? So I'll tell you what the appropriate parenting would be. So if she's upset from school, whatever, something happened, sit with her and let her be upset. Allow her to feel the feelings. Don't try to tape it up. Because it's uncomfortable for me to sit there and listen to it. Because I don't want to see her sad. Right? Because they have to feel their feelings, just like us. Like, we didn't want to feel our feelings, did we? Once we found a drug or person, we can be addicted to people too, by the way. Or behavior, self-harm. That goes a long way too for y'all younger than 30. Honestly. Anyway, so I feel like an old person. So we got to sit with our feelings. So I'm not making it about me. It's going to be a little bit harder, right? Because I'm trying to take care of my emotions and hers at the same time. A parent can't, that's why I tell y'all, wait before you get your kids back. Take your time. She used to tell me that. She's like, in God's time, I'm like, shut up. But she's right, go figure. In God's time, I'm like, fine. Never going to happen. Never going to get it back. And when we expected it. That thing's sitting over there. But as far as buying them, so I'm not going to save a lot of money if I had just sat there and been patient. So get you a guitar. So you play it, leave me alone, right? Stuff like that we do instead of sitting in it with them. And that's why it's hard to be a parent, right out of addiction. Let me go back and get my kids real quick. Stop it. What are you doing? Who are you thinking about here? Right? Thinking about them or you? Ask yourself that question. You come to a lot of realizations when you ask yourself, who's it about? Family, friends. So, okay, I'm gonna, I have a friend that needs a ride from Nashville, right? And they're stuck. So I'm about to go there, and they're stuck there now. And they're calling me to get them back, and I'm supposed to be the hero. Ego. So now I gotta do something about it, right? So I send somebody out. I will take my whole day and pick them up. Resentful as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Was I doing that for them?
Mm-mm.
What was I thinking about? You heard me the whole time, right? Me. Say nothing. I didn't say anything about how they felt. What they could have done different. It's just about me. My ego, because I need to be the savior. Because that's who I am. And go get this lunatic that did what I told him not to do. I didn't have to go do that. So what I could have done, is let's not make this about me. Right? We've got to practice that. Really think about it. Who am I thinking about here? So let's not make this about me and see if we can do something different. So where we won't self-sacrifice and get resentful. Well, I'll give you some resources and I'll give you some numbers of people that I know up there. And why don't you make a post on Facebook and I'll share it. And that's what I'll do because they're not my responsibility. Right? If you go up to Nashville and I told you not to, or asked you not to do that, even if you did it to go for a visit, it's not my responsibility to bring you back. So, and we get so entitled and so spoiled. We're like, well, yes, it is. No, it ain't. How much mama? My mama's place to go. But that, I wouldn't be doing anything for you if I saved you from everything, right? Mm-hmm. We want to get saved, don't we? We want to get rescued. I was waiting at that halfway house, ratchet as hell. My Prince Charming to come get me. I got Flavor Flav. Oh yeah, Byron. Second pacifiers. I can't stand her. The one that walks around the room with pacifiers in his mouth. Y'all are off limits, by the way.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to ride with him. You're not allowed to go to a meeting with him, or associate with him. You can't live here and associate with him because he will get you high.
What's he said?
He'll get you high, or he'll he's not a good person.
If he starts talking about growing up in the kingpin, you'll know who that is.
Yeah, it takes a lot for me to say that about somebody. A lot. Like I gotta see proof. One of my sponsees was proof overdose in the parking lot.
Oh, wow.
That's why. So codependency takes two, right? Takes two. It can be with a substance. It can be with a person. You know, it can be with a behavior. You know, you're a victim. You know, or you're the martyr. One of the others. So I feel sorry for myself. Poor me. I'm like, come on. I don't get it, but y'all, some of y'all always do. Right? But I know what happens because it releases endorphins, just like painkillers do. It affects that part of your brain that the opiates affect. That's why it's addictive. It's just like you just cut yourself and do it now. So it's still like taking opiates. But the more you feel sorry for yourself, that's a perfect recipe for a relapse. Have you ever relapsed and wasn't feeling sorry for yourself? You didn't feel sorry for yourself before you relapsed? No?
I knew I was.
You didn't say fuck it?
I said fuck it, yo, but
That's self-pity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
self-pity.
care. Yeah, I don't care. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, like, fucking prove. You know, like, I'm being a victim right there. I'm not taking responsibility or ownership or nothing. You know, when I say fuck it like that, I'm saying fuck y'all, fuck her,
Mm-hmm.
fuck everybody I love, you know, because everybody's not doing what I need them to do for me and acting the way I want them to act. And now poor me. Right? And, I mean, that's the thing. You're probably raised with a lot of, were you spoiled?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. He's still spoiled too. Like, we're bad at it. He's rotten. But, you know, but he lives with us now. You know, I'm sure he's not half as spoiled as he is in Mama's house.
No, my mama don't give me shit no more.
Yeah, good.
She
I'm gonna have to call her.
You good? Go ahead.
All right, I will.
You want a number?
Yeah, I'll call her.
Hey.
Be like, look. Look, he's scared now. Look at him. Look at the fear.
I think I'm real pretty damn good.
That's awesome. Like, leave him here for a year and don't talk to him at all. See what he does.
No, don't do that with my mom.
I just talked to my mom for like a year, I think. I didn't see my kids for a year. You know, but I had to work on me. It was so hard.
17 years for me and
Yeah.
my mom, she just knows how to hold me, and it's overwhelming, very overwhelming, because I don't know how to accept it.
Well, our family doesn't have to work a program.
Right.
You know, so like we'll go around, they're still sick. They don't know what the hell to do with us. Like, I think you're on drugs more now. You know? Like, my mom thought I was high as a kite. Like, I was completely clean for, I think, 90 days when I went over there. She's like, I think you're using. I'm like, sorry.
That's all I need.
Yeah. And see, if I wasn't serious about recovery, I would have went and used that as an excuse. You didn't think I'm using anyway. You know, I didn't care what she thought at that point. You know, I knew I couldn't live that way anymore. I had to do something different. You know, I'm lazy. I didn't want to work steps. I just wanted to kind of like get drug along on a rope by myself. You know, and be with my boyfriends and my friends and, you know, and go to my little ice cream truck job. I was talking about the ice cream truck last time I was here. She remembers that.
Mm-hmm.
The ice cream truck. Oh, yeah, sure that. Has a lot of humbling. So, but the thing is, you know, I have to remember with everything, you know, coming back, and that's going to stop you from a relapse. Is who am I thinking about? Whose feelings I'm worried about here? Right? Mine. If I use, it's my feelings, not yours. What about me? You know, so we try to get you out of that mentality. Is worrying about me all the time. What's going to happen to me? What am I going to get? You know, what am I not going to get? Right? Like, they're looking at me funny. They ain't thinking about you, I promise. So self-centeredness is not like, people think it's like being cocky and conceited, right? So the thing is, it's tricky. Because self-centeredness and addiction recovery, you know, in that gray area right there, is everybody is mad at me. It's up to me to fix everything. You know? Like, everybody's in trouble because of me. Right? That guy's mad over there. I bet you I did something. I looked at him wrong. Me.
Mhm.
That's self-centeredness. Carrying that load on your shoulders that's not yours to carry is ego and self-centeredness. You put other people's shit down. It's not yours to carry. You're wasting your time. You can't do nothing with it. The only thing you can do for anybody else is work on you. I promise you, like, that's the best thing I did for everybody.
Mhm.
You know, because when I tried to go manhandle stuff, I made a mess. Remember that? And you had to,
Mhm.
yeah. So my codependent sponsor, like, rescued me from Louisiana. I got on an airplane. Like, I don't do like y'all and just like run off for a night. I got on a fucking airplane in Chattanooga. Oh, not so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't tell her nothing. I called her on the plane. I texted her on the plane. I'm like, hey, I'm on the plane. I'm going to Louisiana. She's like, what? And I did, and it was a whole disaster. And guess who came rescuing me? Right? Never do it again, though. Maybe I should. I learned. That's why I tell y'all, you know, if it's something y'all don't want to tell somebody, it's probably not good. So, as far,
Twofold. You felt the love of the fellowship after.
yeah. So, I mean, I had several people that got together to bring me back home. Several. You know, somebody, they got together and got me a ticket for a bus. And then another one picked me up in Atlanta and drove me all the way back home. You know, so there was like a few people like in the works doing that. It wasn't just her.
I was like a mother hen freaking out because she went down there.
But I'm here now. But the point of that is I went back there and it was a whole disaster. My mother was super resentful. Everybody's looking at my grandma because she moved down there without getting a house first. She didn't make the best decision, but it's okay. So you had 10 people living in this little wee house, like her, my other 2 kids, my 3 nephews, my sister, my grandmother, my mother. And she was just irritated. Her and my grandma are like that. My grandma mean. I think she's funny. But anyway, they fight, you know, and my grandmother like was rough on this one because she don't know how to, like, she's 87, so she doesn't understand, you know, don't yell at the children. She yells. But my mother get upset because she yelled at her, and then, you know, fought back on me because I'm the vulnerable in there, and I can't go nowhere, and I can't do nothing, right? So I'm the whipping boy. You know, I'm like, I didn't put myself in a really good situation, did I? And it hurt them. It hurt the kids because I had to leave. You know, making bad choices because of how I felt. You know, I didn't even ask how they were doing. I care. You know, okay, I want to be with my kids. It's not me. You know, now let's talk about this. Is this the right thing to do? Am I ready for this? You know, I was 3 years clean before I got back all the way. 2 years before I got to be with them. 3 before I got back. And when I got them back, it was about them. You know, bringing them back to Knoxville was about them. Because I knew that they would have love here, you know, and have friends and all that stuff. This is where my real family is because this is my recovery family. I love my blood family, but they're fucked up. I mean, so is my recovery family, but in a different way. So, like my daddy will offer me a beer. It's been 10 years. He's like, well, you're a drug addict. You can drink a beer. I'm like, no, I'm just not. And I don't make a big deal of it. I don't. Like, no, I just feel like drinking. I don't like drinking in a day. You know, just blow it off like that. I don't, you shouldn't offer me alcohol. I'm like, it's all right. You know, I'm just not going to drink that right now. I like that kind of beer or something, I'll say. Because, I mean, it's not a huge deal for him. You know, like, I'm responsible for me. Even if my daddy puts a beer in front of my face. You know, it's not his fault if I take it and drink it. Makes my point. You know, it's up to me to say, you know what? I don't like that kind. Right? It's up to me to do that. Nobody's coming to save you from your addiction, unfortunately. Everybody's going to come save somebody but me. Nobody can save me. I don't see people saving anyone. You know, like a healthy individual, emotionally healthy individual is not going to come pick somebody out of a sober living house. Unless you were together before or something like that. But if you meet somebody like that knows that you're in a situation like this, right, and they're a normie, you know, have a nice house and stuff, like, there's an ulterior motive for that. Like, you think get trafficked.
Mm-hmm.
It happens. I'm looking for a couple girls right now. That's why I put you on Life 360 so we can see where you're at. if we can't find you. Like, I don't care where you go. You grown. You know, but if you go missing, I want to know where you're at. I don't ask questions. I really don't. So who feels like they were brought up with having to earn love? How'd you have to earn it, Lucy?
I guess I felt I had to behave a certain way, to get my mom's approval. I had to get good enough grades. I had to, not argue with my stepdad, who I really hated because she always took his side. So if I, just took it, then she would love me more.
Mm-hmm.
My dad, it was a little different with him because he was kind of the one that showed me, how to be affectionate. Because even still, my mom wasn't a huggy, kissy, I love you, My dad was, but he was also an alcoholic. So whenever he would get good and drunk, I had to be a quarterback that was the same size as he was and could take those hits.
Mm-hmm.
If I cried, then, I was pussy and what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't raise you like that.
Yeah, I can relate. Yep. So that made you not affectionate, correct?
Yeah.
Because you feel like you're being too vulnerable when you're affectionate because it opens you up for getting hurt and called a sissy and all that stuff. So if you cry in front of him, and show your emotions, and you feel scared and open to somebody to love you, and you get told, stop being a crybaby, or I'm gonna beat you. That does something to you, And so you stop being affectionate at all and open it up like that. It's called emotional inhibition. It comes from emotional. What's the emotional? What's that schema?
Deprivation.
Huh?
No, it's emotional deprivation.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Emotional deprivation brings emotional inhibition.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else not affectionate? Like, don't show feelings? No. Yeah, I love that you have that kind of issue. It's great.
Sometimes.
Helps me. Natalia don't show feelings at all. She don't put her emotions in nothing. It's great.
Carrie's kind of like that a little bit.
Huh?
Carrie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carrie.
I'm working on it.
Hey, how you doing? Okay.
She always okay until she got to talk to you right now in the middle of a group. Like
it was important.
Like, I had 4 hours to kill yesterday. I'm like, hey, Gary, how you doing? All right. I'm coming into a group. I'm 30 minutes late trying to get set up. And I got to talk to you right now. I'm like, bro.
It was important.
Bless it.
And it worked
So,
out.
Mm-hmm.
It did work
It
out.
did.
So yeah, you get what you want anyway from me. But you got to remember, like, I get people blaming sober living and treatment centers and all, like, that irks me. Like, there's sober living that I don't like, that I think they're gross and they're not doing it for the right reasons and everything, but there's still somewhere to live. They're still not beating you or stealing from you or whatever. Hopefully you're not using. But it's a place to recover. It's a place to get in touch with other recovering people. You shouldn't even, like, have a lot of relationships with the house people that you're with. Not even enough to dislike somebody. You should be out there talking to everybody out there, hanging out with people that are doing better than you. Like, I was at her house all the time. She had a house and car and, like, kids and everything. I'm like, I'm gonna hang out over here. Like, she cooked squash for me and it was good. She's from Louisiana, like me too. But I like hanging out over there because, like, she had what I wanted to have, like, that kind of life. I didn't want to hang out in the house. Like, I was past that. I wanted to do something different. So if you're a parent, act like a parent. It's hard. It's hard to just get out of ratchet. It really is. It's hard to get out of ratchet. And that, like, a mother, like, that made me nauseated at first. I'm like, no, I'm gonna be ratchet for a while. And I was. Killed it too. I got pictures.
Fight or flight. Yeah.
Because I didn't want to dig and because it hurts so bad. Like, it's like losing your kids and not having them with you is traumatic for them and you. So, like, you're gonna be a lunatic when you get back. In a helicopter. You're like, don't even look at them. You might see a hair out of place and take them. I still do that. But I can laugh about it now. Huh? That's so fun. Okay.
I mean, the other thing is if you haven't worked steps and stuff, your emotional roller coaster, you don't want that around your kid, you know.
Yeah. I ask
So
people
from
because
happy to crying in a minute and your kid's like, what's wrong?
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna make you cry in a few minutes anyway. But I will before we leave. Sorry. We're gonna do something. You're gonna cry, but you'll feel better. Okay. None of us are little delicate china plates. I want people to act like I'm just delicate. I'm like, no, you ain't.
Right.
If you made it through some active addiction, like you tough. Like you ain't weak. You know, so you got to use all that you put into that addiction, put it into your recovery. Only thing about it is that you got to feel that stuff now, and it sucks. So another news flash: it's not normal for human beings to be happy all the time. You're like, do this to be happy. I see it all the time. You know, you do this for happiness, and if you're not happy, do this. Like you're not supposed to be happy all the time.
Right.
That's why you have different emotions. You know, it's okay just to be. Like that's fine. That's just like you're not supposed to be like something wrong with you if you're like that. Or you on some good shit. You know, like there was this guy the other day that said that he'd been clean a year and he's just not happy yet. No, I'm like, did you work some steps yet? No. How do I know that? You know, like we think well, I don't need to do that. I ain't as sick as them. You know, I'm not drinking that Kool-Aid, right? But you'll get freedom in them steps.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get some freedom in it. And it's hard to sit down with the pen and paper, especially when you're a procrastinator. But I mean, the sooner you do it and get it done, you know, the better you'll feel. Like I wasted a lot of time trying to divert all the pain instead of just like facing it head on, because I could have done everything a lot sooner than what I did. You know, but I had to go through those motions and what happened. You know, and we're all going to have our own story. You know, it's going to be hard. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not going to be easy. If it's easy, everybody would do it. Michael Jackson would still be alive. And who else? Aaron Carter. And,
Prince.
huh?
Prince.
Prince. I love Prince. That was documentary.
That killed me.
Elvis Presley.
Yeah. When I remember Michael Jackson passed away, I get really sad.
Chester.
Tom
Lincoln
Petty.
Park.
Tom Petty. Tom Petty.
And like they're actually nice people. Like Prince was a nice guy. You know, Michael Jackson was. I think he was a little nuts, but he's a good person. I don't think he did nothing to boys. But you know, it got him. Like, and before they could catch it, you know, it was a problem. You know what I mean? So, like by the time I realized it's a problem, it's too late. Like we got to get some help. And that's the problem with us. Like our egos, we're like, you know, I can do this by myself. And it gets worse and worse, and you spend years and years miserable because you don't want to ask for help. You know, so I could have punched myself in the face for not doing what I should have done. I spent years in active addiction because I said, I can get this, I can crack this, try to detox myself over and over. So sick, laying in the bed. That's traumatic too, by the way. Laying in the bed with the door shut, my kids beating on the door trying to get to me. I'm too sick to deal with them. Right? And I can't get up to get my baby that's crying for me. And that, I just felt like I wanted to die. You know? And I'm like, I'll get it. I'll get past it. And I did for a little while, got uncomfortable, right back. You know? So, but when I had some help, it was interesting. It wasn't that bad. I had people like a bitch too, like, this sucks, my legs hurt. Mine too. You know, let's go walk the gym, all right. You know, it'll be crabby and irritable, and people still love me anyway. They love my garage house today. You know, but this is to fall into who you are. A lot of you don't know who you are. That's okay. You got a clean slate. You know, you got to stop letting people tell you who you are. Stop acting on other people's emotions. Right? Because we're going to let other people's emotions affect us so bad that we take a fall for some stuff. Well, I'm like, that's not your fight. You know, I had a friend that relapsed recently, and I feel like that's what happened. Kind of took somebody else's shit on that wasn't theirs to take, you know, and fucked up. Not for long, thank God, he went to jail. But, No, good friend of mine. What time is it? 6:30. A couple more minutes. So I want everybody to close your eyes.
Now,
Close your eyes. You're safe. Nobody's gonna get you. I'm not getting up. You too. Close them.
I got you, damn.
Close your eyes. And I want you to think about you as a child running up and putting their arms around you now. They see you and they run to you and they put their arms around you and hug you. I want you to sit in that for a second. Can you see you as a kid? Running to you as you are now. For you to protect them. And they trust you. They got faith in you. To make sure everything will be all right. You can tell them everything's gonna be fine. You're okay. You're safe. I got you. I got you now. And hold it as long as you need to. Open your eyes. What'd that feel like?
Good, I smacked the shit out of my little stuff.
You're supposed to nurture your little self.
You need an ass whooping. You get a couple more.
Being then. You just keep
You
being.
need to go younger than that.
I still resist.
I'm talking about like
Okay, he's not
a
codependent.
5-year-old before they come in and start acting like assholes. You know what I mean? That's what most of us go is that little 5-year-old kid. You know, like between 5 and 12, something like that is what runs up to us and embraces us. You know, it depends on us to take care of them. And that's how it is. Really. Like we have to take care of the child all the time. So whenever you're feeling vulnerable, whenever you're feeling unsafe or scared, close your eyes and let that kid run at you and hug them. That's going to make the difference between you and that child. It separates you guys, but it brings you together as well. Yeah. Because you're going to be the one to give that baby all they need. The protection, the safety, the security. And when you start healing that baby gets healed. That trauma gets healed. You know, like I said, I'm not trying to be mean doing that, but it's healing. You know, it's hard at first and it hurts. It hurts. You remember that pain, and you wanted somebody there for you that you can completely trust and rely on and just fall into and sink into. And a lot of times we didn't have that. Right? But only we understand how that child feels. We know. You know, and we're the only ones that can take care of them. And that's going to help you get outside of yourself with your own, you know, with people around you, right? Because if grown-up you is running the show, and if that child, that scared kid, you know, because a lot of, I mean, don't you feel like little kids sometimes are in situations and all, you know, you don't feel like a grown person. You got to remind yourself, I'm a grown-up, right? You have those little kid feelings, you know, and that fear, right?
With that rejection.
Mm-hmm. And you got to remember to take care of that kid. You know, it's going to be all right. I got you, right? It's hard. It was hard for me when I did it. I don't cry. I probably cry for 30 minutes. You know, because there's a lot of pain in that little person. You know, that she didn't ask for. You know, but the thing is, like, you're grown now. Like, you have a lot more power than you did when you were that age. You can look at yourself in the mirror and say, you know what, I'm not going to let that control my life today. Couldn't then. Didn't know better. You just had to sit in it. You don't have to do that now. You know, you look in the mirror, I don't have to let that take control over me. I don't have to let that control me today. If there's abuse, guess what? That's not going to have power over me today. A breakup, somebody did you wrong, like break your heart. A heartbreak's probably the worst pain in the entire world. Get your heart broken, you know what? That person's not going to have control over me today. I'm not going to let them. Right? A lot of us have had like abuse, or like parents, you know, like who got beat bad, punitive parents.